Show me the money. Hi, this is Dymock-Johnson, and this is video response, follow-up, I don't know, ongoing ramble based on DBJ's excellent video at the start of the year, 6 RPG ideas that never work. Now, I'm sure the great DBJ was, well, being sarcastic and that's tongue firmly in cheek that these ideas never work, or they rarely work. But it got me thinking about, why do these ideas not work? Why do they go wrong? And it's because players follow the money. Players follow what the reward is. What are the rewards in the game? What does your game reward? What does your game punish? If, to pick a game at random, say Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons started off that you got rewarded for loot, for how many gold pieces you managed to scavenge. That was your source of experience points, your reward. And there was magic items and guff and all that, but you got your experience points for having magic items, for gaining loot. You didn't get money, you didn't get experience points for killing things. And by AD&D, you got a small amount of experience for monster murder. But the main source of experience points was gold. And so, early D&D adventurers, early D&D characters were greedy, conniving, sneaky, device-using people who'd contrive by hook or by crook to get at the loot and not fight the monsters, because fighting the monsters was dangerous and bad. They'd fight them if they had to, or they'd fight them if they felt it would be a bit of fun, because there were a lot of combat rules still in D&D. But the money was where the experience points went, and the experience points was the money. The money was the experience. The reward was not in killing the monsters. It was a teeny tiny reward in that. You got what? 10 XP plus 1 per hit point of orc for each orc you killed. So that meant your average orc was 15 experience. That orc could be carrying 30 gold. So if you could somehow get the gold off the orc without having to fight him, because, well, an orc could do d6 damage in return, or d8 damage in return. Back in the days of AD&D, hit points were harder to come by. So that d8 was a lot, and they added up, and orcs came in hordes. So if you could get the loot without fighting the orcs, just get away with that sweet gold piece to XP exchange ratio, then that's what you'd do. Now, fast forward a bit to, well, this century, and the advent of, well, Wizards of the Coast D&D, we have XP for murder. You get experience points for, technically, they say defeating enemies, but everyone translates this to killing your foes. You get experience points for killing your enemies. And, surprise, surprise, D&D, we see a lot of players who are focused on killing their enemies, because that's where the money is. That's where the experience points are. That's what they chase. And so you get the rise of the murder hobo, of the build to get as much damage per round out. Because this is what the game mechanically rewards, so this is what the players chase. We see this in the storyteller games from the 90s, which handed out experience points for role-playing. If you role-played your character well, you got some extra experience points. You got an experience point for turning up, if I recall. You learned in spite of yourself. So people turned up. Well, people were going to turn up anyway. But you got most of your experience points for role-playing, for developing for your character, for playing to your nature and your demeanour. And so players chase the rewards. They role-played to their character's nature and demeanour. Again, no surprise, that's where the money is. Rollmaster from the 80s had experience points for basically doing everything under the sun. You got experience points for travelling places. You got experience points for meeting new things. You got experience points for exploring. You got an awful lot of experience points for exploring and travelling. So Rollmaster characters endeavoured to explore and travel. As well as combat, Rollmaster. You remember Rollmaster? You remember how ultra lethal it was? Well, you got a small amount for defeating a monster the first time. And so you might want to kill your first orc, but once you killed about 10, you didn't get anything for them, so you gave up on killing orcs. You only wanted to kill those first 5 orcs and those first 5 goblins and those not the trolls. You'd learn just how horrible Rollmaster trolls were after the first encounter with them. And then you just avoid them. They were horrible and deadly, and they could do some rather hefty D&E crushing criticals on you, and those were horrible. So, Rollmaster characters also chased the money. They did exploration. They investigated things. They went out and explored new places. Rollmaster is probably a good model if you wanted to play a Star Trek type game. You could translate into the future. I think they did have a future version where you got an awful lot of experience points for exploring strange new worlds. Woohoo! Who'd guess? If you played the science fiction version of Rollmaster, you went out exploring, because that's where the experience points were. Those were the rewards were. That's what you did. And so this brings us to the ideas that don't work. They don't work usually because the players are not rewarded for them. Non-lethal combat. Well, a D&D character is not going to engage in non-lethal combat because there's no reward for it. A vampire character might well engage in some non-lethal combat because they get to show off their nature and demeanour. If their demeanour says bully, then they're going to bully people around. They're going to want to push people around. They're going to do it a lot. If their demeanour says timid, then they're going to cower to those threats. They're going to shrink away. They're going to do these things. They're going to chase the money. They're going to chase where the rewards are. So, non-lethal combat can be done in systems which reward non-lethal combat. In a game like GURPS, if there is a 3 XP award for participating in 3 events at the tourney, you get 1, 2, 3, or even just an experience point per event you participate in the tourney. And I saw this in one of the GURPS medieval supplements. When you hold a medal of fair or a joust or whatever, give the characters 1 experience point or 1 character point, which is a lot in GURPS. Experience points in GURPS are very few and far between, and you have to get all the ones you want to try and get. Give 1 experience point per event, up to maximum of 3. You should only give 1 to 3 experience points per session anyway. Per event they attend, they participate in, and maybe an extra point if they win. And so characters will then chase the money. They will chase the experience points. Again. Other things. The troop style play. Troop style play is rewarded if everyone gets to be the main character. For troop style play, you should not have just 1 Vampire Slayer, 1 Jedi. You should have 6 Jedi, or 6 Vampire Hunters, and their teams. So they're not one team of 1 great person and many plebs. Everyone has a chance to be the main character at some point. You swap around every 2 sessions. But the other characters, that's where the money is. Those are where the experience points, those are where the development can occur. Because your lesser lights can actually grow and change and develop. They can improve their skills because their skills are not so good at the start. Any growth they get is larger. By contrast, the superhero characters, your Jedi Knights, your Ars Magica mages, your Vampire Slayers, are not going to improve that much. They're already at the peak of their ability. So, in troop style play, you actually see people wanting to play what Ars Magica termed as the companions, the capable hanger-ons who had other skills, other useful things. People also really enjoyed playing Grogs. I've met a lot of Grog players in my years. People who just like being the lesser light, the expendable red shirt, as it were. Because then you don't have to worry about consequences. You can just, oh, there's a spooky sound. I'll go investigate. Because who cares if you get killed? You'll have another red shirt, another Grog, another minor character ready to go if that one gets splattered. It's fun, it's rewarding, some players like it. And the ones who get to play the companions, the allies, well, that's where all the growth is. That's where all the experience point development goes into developing those characters. And so those characters are fun to play because they grow and they change and they get better and better. And eventually they get to a point where they develop their own team and they go off and become a slayer themselves or a mage themselves or whatever. So that's where those things. You get players to chase the money, chase the rewards. They like development, they like rewards. Then the person at the top, the pinnacle, doesn't develop. So they are just there to occasionally give the orders, be the captain or whatever. But since they don't develop, grow or change, there's not as much fun, there's not as much investment in being them. Other things. There was much mention of you can't do this because it's against your character, against your alignment. And this ties into a lot of old game design where things were restrictive, things punished you for straying off the path. You strayed off your alignment path in D&D. If you were not playing your character and say storyteller, you got punished because you would not get your experience points. You would not get your rewards. So consider the alternative. With modern game design, you don't punish actions, you reward actions. You reward some actions more, you reward some other actions less. So if someone's playing their character, playing well, then they are rewarded. But if some character grows and changes and develops and forms a new arc, don't punish them, give them more rewards. Your character underwent such a traumatic change of faith and ideals and motivations that they're now a different alignment. Don't take that advice out of the 1977 DMG, which says they lose a level. Reward them. Perhaps even give them another level. Give them a level in some appropriate class. If they are going down to the dark side, they are listening to the dark whispers in their head. They've picked up some book and that seems to make a lot more sense to them. It's called The Book of Evil, or whatever equivalent is. Give them a level in Warlock. Give them no spells to toss around. Game police aren't going to knock down your door person and say, you're not following them hoary old rules that we now know better about. Reward total change. Reward metamorphosis. A thing I do regularly at the end of every 3-month campaign or saga, when the dust is settled, when the mission is either won or much horribly beyond compare, I ask each player, did your character learn anything? Did they change in any way? And the first few times I did this, there was a sort of blank stare. Oh, what? And then someone piped up and said, oh, I learned this. I learnt that if someone invites you down a dark alley with the promise of a good deal, I don't go down there because I learned. I went down the dark alley, I got popped on the head and looted. I've learned not to do that. Say, right, okay. Tick. Or they say, I've changed. I now think it is wrong to kill orcs. They're people too. I don't think I should butcher them mercilessly because they have feelings, and I found this orcish poem. They write poetry. It's not terribly good. I mean, an ode to a small piece of green putty I found in my armpit this morning. Well, that's never going to be a bestseller. But they have poetry. What could they creatively let them live? You go, okay, tick. And eventually the players went, what do all these ticks mean? I told them, 1,000 experience points. Each tick, each point of growth, each point of learning is with 1,000 experience points. Which in the games I'm running there, Dragon Quest, it's not a huge deal, but it's big. But if they add up, if you learn 3 new things, your character changed in 2 significant ways, that's 5,000 experience points. And that's a lot of XP. So now, players of my game, they also get points for role-playing each session and being a character and convincing and all that stuff. But they know now that they get bonus XP if they convincingly change and grow. And if they metamorphosize, and they might get even more experience points. Again, show them the money, show them a reward, and the players will chase it. Thank you. It's now getting up to 15 minutes, my timer says, which is probably long enough, which is far too long for anyone to be listening to me. So I'll leave it there. Just remember, give them rewards, the players will chase them.